The Mafia king. An unexpected meeting. Isabella had led a modest existence her entire life. She was employed as a maid for the affluent Moretti family in the center of New York City when she was 18. Her days were occupied with cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the Moretti family's requirements. She thought that attending college and becoming successful would be impossible, but she still had those aspirations. Isabella was assigned the duty of delivering a box to the rooftop suite of the Moretti family's hotel one evening following a demanding workday. Her heart thumping in her chest, she walked to the top floor, nervous and anxious. She had no idea how this moment would alter her life forever. As she knocked on the door, a tall, dark, and extraordinarily attractive man was shown when the door opened. His eyes were a penetrating blue that appeared to go straight through her, and he wore a fitted suit. This man was Alessandro Moretti, the so-called Mafia king. And he was not your typical man. With a suave and authoritative voice, he said, "Come in." With shaking hands, Isabella opened the door and held out the package. "This is from the Moretti residence, sir," she tried to utter, hardly raising her voice above a whisper. Grasping the gift from her, Alessandro's fingertips brushed hers. At the touch, a spark of electricity raced through her. He saw her reaction and grinned. His eyes never left her face as he inquired, "What's your name?" "Isabella," she answered, her cheeks beginning to blush. He responded, "Thank you, Isabella. A little gentler now. You may go." She had the unshakable impression that her life was about to take unexpected turns as she turned to depart. Weeks passed, and Isabella was still wondering about Alessandro. His presence continued to nag at her, taking her attention off her everyday responsibilities. She was taken aback one afternoon when she received an invitation to the Moretti family's lavish banquet. She received a personal invitation, which is an uncommon privilege for a maid. She was excited and nervous at the same time as she got ready for the event. She changed into a vision of beauty with the assistance of her fellow maids, wearing an understated yet sophisticated attire that complemented her inherent attractiveness. The social elite of New York attended the glamorous event, which was rather impressive. Isabella felt uncomfortable amid the glitzy group, but when she saw Alessandro across the room, her heart skipped a beat. Despite being surrounded by attractive women and powerful men, he looked straight into her eyes. With an air of power, he moved through the crowd to get to her. "Isabella," he said in a friendly and inviting voice. "I'm glad you came," she said. "Thank you for the invitation, Mr. Moretti." While attempting to maintain her poise, "Please call me Alessandro," he extended his hand to ask, "May I have this dance?" After a moment of hesitation, Isabella put her hand in his. She couldn't express the connection she felt while they danced. They were alone at a lovely moment as the world around them appeared to vanish. In the ensuing weeks, Alessandro discovered motives to visit Isabella. He would make more frequent visits to the Moretti home, always managing to run into her. They were increasingly attracted to one another every day as their interactions were full of lingering touches and sly looks. Isabella understood that she was taking risks. The world of Alessandro was violent, full of power battles. He was a Mafia king, and his opponents would do anything to overthrow him. She was unable to ignore her love for him, though. She was leaving the Moretti house one evening when Alessandro caught her. "I need to talk to you," he replied, looking serious. They strolled to a private area of the garden, away from curious onlookers. His voice was full of anxiety. "Isabella, you need to understand that being close to me comes with risks," he warned. "My world is not safe," she said. "I know." her heart pounding. "But I can't help how I feel." Gently yet firmly, he cradled her face in his hands. "Neither can I," he conceded. "But I can't let anything happen to you." A passionate kiss that sealed their fate was shared between them. Despite knowing that their love was illegal, they were both prepared to take the risks in tandem. As their bond grew, Isabella discovered herself entangled in Alessandro's perilous world, targeted by rival mafia families who were scheming to harm him. Although Alessandro made every effort to keep her safe, the threats persisted. Isabella was abducted by Alessandro's adversaries one fatal night. She was kept as a hostage and exploited to trick him into falling into a trap. Alessandro undertook a risky rescue effort out of desperation and determination. With his soldiers on his sides, he stormed the enemy's lair. A vicious gunfight broke out, but Alessandro fought with a love-fueled determination, his heart thumping with terror and relief. He arrived at Isabella. As he freed her, he questioned, his voice breaking, "Are you okay?" She muttered, "I'm fine," as tears fell down her cheeks. "I knew you'd come for me." Alessandro realized that their lives would never be the same as they fled. There was no going back now that they had crossed a boundary. Following the rescue, Alessandro decided to give up his life in the Mafia. He could no longer jeopardize Isabella's security. They left New York City's barrels behind and took refuge in a quiet village. They were still in love, even though things were easier there. Alessandro started working honestly, and Isabella went after her desire to attend college. Together, they created a new life free from the baggage of the past. Although their path was not simple, they overcame each obstacle with steadfast love and tenacity. Isabella and Alessandro demonstrated how love has the power to change lives and shine brightly even in the darkest of circumstances. Ultimately, it was the calm power of their love rather than the flash and splendor of the city that allowed the young maid and the Mafia king to live happily ever after.